With Resident Evil 9 on the horizon, fans have been scouring the trailer, and they have noticed a connection to some other Resident Evil games, the Outbreak series. From what it looks like, Capcom is not willing to take any major steps with the Resident Evil Outbreak series. So is Resident Evil 9 their chance to make a major connection and bring joy to the die-hard cult classic fans? Or are they just getting a little inspiration from it, using an old character in an old location, but doing a completely different thing? In today's video, we'll look at a main character from Outbreak with a major role in RE9, locations from the Outbreak series appearing in RE9, long-shot connections, mysterious crates, past Capcom behaviors, and even some audio clues.
Investigating all these strange deaths, huh?
So join us as we find the similarities between the Outbreak series and the main storyline of Resident Evil 9. As we ask the question, is Resident Evil 9 actually an Outbreak mini remake? The way I see it, when it comes to Outbreak, Capcom has 4 options. Number 1, they can do nothing. This has been their strategy since 2004 when the games were originally released. Why change now? Number 2, they can port the old games to next gen like they've done with almost every other game. But Outbreak is seriously janky and clanky, and if they haven't done it so far, why would they do it now? Number 3, they can do a full remake like they did for Resident Evils 1 through 4. But while Outbreak is a cult classic among fans, I was surprised to learn that many die-hard fans have never even played it. And the sales weren't that amazing either back in the day. So is there enough interest, or better yet, profit, to make this their next big project? And that brings us to number 4, the option we'll cover in today's video. They could please the fans in a simpler, cheaper way by adding Outbreak content directly to RE9, a mini remake, if you will. This could be done in the form of a future DLC, or, please no, a separate mini-game similar to RE-Verse, which is already over and shutting down. But we can talk about those options in the future, because today we have to talk about direct connections from Outbreak to Resident Evil 9, because Capcom has already started doing it, and the connections appear in a major way, straight from the announced trailer.
Grace Ashcroft.
Yes?
The main character of the game is Grace Ashcroft, and she is the daughter of one of the main characters from the Outbreak series, Alyssa Ashcroft.
As a newspaper reporter, I had been involved with bizarre cases before, but this time I had to learn the hard way.
Not only that, but Alyssa herself is also featured in the game in some way. Now that's a connection. We also have to consider the plot to Resident Evil 9, which involves, quote, uncovering the hidden truth behind the outbreak in Raccoon City, unquote. What better way to display these truths than through flashbacks to a newspaper reporter, or potentially other survivors, from a previous game, rather than rehashing the same info from the RE2, RE3 remakes. If we take a look at some other aspects of RE9, we might even see a few other connections. First, we have the Wrenwood Hotel, where bad things happened in the past.
I know. That's where your mother was murdered.
And they're still happening today.
We found another body. One that exhibits the same pathology as the others we've been investigating.
We even see what looks to be in-game flashbacks of Alyssa in this hotel. But wait a minute, wasn't Alyssa's main level in the original Outbreak a hotel? Yep, it was the Apple Inn. Next, we have the Rhodes Hill Chronic Care Center, the place Grace Ashcroft is kidnapped to, and the scene of the currently unplayable RE9 demo. It looks like a hospital-type place where experiments are being done. And wait a minute again, wasn't Alyssa's main level in Outbreak number 2 a hospital? Yep, the Forest Hospital. And then finally, we have an ending boss for one of Alyssa's levels. It's a female monster hanging from the ceiling called a Suspended. It reminds me a lot of this scene from the RE9 trailer. Although as we see more of that monster, it looks completely different. So Alyssa and a hotel and a hospital and a ceiling monster in RE9, and Alyssa and a hotel and a hospital and a ceiling monster in Outbreak? Are we on to something? Or is this just a big coincidence? Well, the Outbreak Hotel burned down, the Outbreak Hospital crumbled down, and the enemy is Lisa Trevor. Calm down, just kidding. Maybe. So maybe it isn't connections and isn't coincidence, but simply inspiration. So not the Outbreak mini remake, but more of an Outbreak-inspired adventure. Sounds much more plausible, but come on bro, this is a Where'sberry Theory video. We've got to think bigger. What if there is a bigger connection to Resident Evil Outbreak? One that seems like a stretch is a tiny corner of a crate you can see in the RE9 trailer. Some fans think this is the crate that drops the final boss back in Outbreak 2. The crate is dropped by a crumbling highway overpass. Could that crate still be in Raccoon City today? Could that boss be in RE9? We have Alyssa already, but there were 7 other survivors featured as main characters in Outbreak. George, Yoko, Mark, Jim, Dave, Kevin, and Cindy. Could they be making an appearance? Some fans think these voice clues in the trailer could be voices of Outbreak survivors.
Miss Ashcroft. Investigating all these strange deaths, huh?
We need to keep our voices down.
Have you seen the same shit I've seen?
What do you think? We also have another main character from the Alyssa story and one of the most popular enemies. It's the Axeman, Dr. Lester. He's not just a random enemy. He has a serious beef with Alyssa. He didn't make it out alive, but perhaps his storyline will. The other intriguing character is Rita the cop. She was at the RPD with Marvin and already Easter egged in RE2, RE3 remakes. If we return to the RPD in Raccoon City like it looks, maybe she will have some kind of a role.
So I'll get help and come back, right?
A couple side characters survived too. There's Linda and Rodriguez. Not so much Bob. And let's not forget, a few Mr. X tyrants are still missing, and there was one in Outbreak. And how about some throwback locations? With the ruins of Raccoon City a probable RE9 location, what if we run into some Outbreak places since that also took place in RC? The subway, the university, the mall, Jack's bar, or better yet, the fan favorite, the zoo. In the Raccoon City ruins, I was thinking we'd see some RE2/RE3 remake locations, but it would be a little more exciting to throw in some new places and connect them back to Outbreak. They already did it with the hospital location because in the original Outbreak we see the name of this neighborhood in the subway system. So why not a few more places from the original? So is Resident Evil 9 a partial Resident Evil Outbreak remake? Only time will tell. But it might not be a bad idea to keep an eye out for Resident Evil Outbreak characters, locations, or lore. We've got quite a long time before the game releases, so let me know in the comments your thoughts on how the Outbreak series will connect to Resident Evil 9. And as always, thank you Zoms for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe!